But I'll start with the downside. Here's the thing, right? We are accustomed to doing things. In fact, some people wonder why we're not called human doings, because we are always doing something instead of being something. But before you do something, you have to actually be something. So, in the vein of doing something, we like to set goals, we like to accomplish things, and we use that as a measurement or as a yardstick as to how we are actually doing. But here's the difficult thing: once you figure it out, you cease the drama in your life, you cease the unworkable problems in your life, you cease the difficulty, you put your mind in that place where it's like a smooth ride, right? Well, see, when that happens, then you have to be concerned with boredom. I saw a video once where they said that people that have a calm life have a boring life because they don't have anything to do. So once you get your mindset the way you want it, and of course, I like to have the mindset so that whatever turns up, I can handle it, fewer things turn up because what you resist persists. So as you go through to developing how to manage your mindset, that's really the most exciting part. And sometimes you get to that place where you can manage your mindset and you miss all the drama. So it's a bit of a window, a bit of a paradox, because no matter how you do it, you're going to want to do something. And so even if you are not at the place yet where your mindset is where you want it to be, go ahead and revel in the journey. Revel in the trip that you're taking to getting to where you fix your mindset, because it kind of gets like this: wash, rinse, repeat. Obstacle, overcome, and just rely on the fact that there's always going to be something happening. So your mindset, probably the best mindset you can have, is that I win, because that's mine. I win. I don't know that an addiction would be how I would frame it, but you notice things, and you notice when something's happening, and you notice when nothing's happening, but we all like something to be happening. Years ago, when Jesus Christ was alive and he was talking to his fishermen, he said, if you follow me, I'll make you a fisher of men. Now, you're already fishing, right? And so fishing is an enjoyable activity. But I think the true joy in life for me is bringing other people along so that they develop the mindset similar to mine. And so every day I try to infect someone with this tendency to believe that they win. And the more people I infect with that, the better my life is. So I may not be experiencing drama, but I'm helping other people experience their drama. And as a result, they have less drama. So if I can impact one person to stop having drama and have them impact one person to stop having drama, the drama will cease. But alas, you're never going to get everyone. So you can just enjoy the view of other people getting from their drama to the right mindset. I hate to take up her turn. However, the pastor, the pastor came out with, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you know God's good will, acceptable, and perfect will for you. That is a mouthpiece. And if all we did was meditate on that and get the true meaning of that. You see, we're talking about mindset, but a mindset in many ways is your view of things. And you see view attitudes on the marquee behind me. And before I die, view attitudes will be in the dictionary. View attitudes is a word that I created, which basically means if you change your view, you could change your attitude. And you change your view by renewing your mind. And your mind is renewed by the stuff that you allow in. And you can't allow just any and everything in your mind. Speaking about your mind, the mind is separated into two components. You got your conscious mind and you got your subconscious mind. And you might think that because you have control over your conscious mind, that that's who's doing the deal. But au contraire, mon frere, your subconscious mind is running your life just as surely as it's running my life. And the thing about your subconscious mind is that everything that has occurred since you were in your mama's womb is lodged in your subconscious mind, and it has the habit of just waiting to be triggered by something. things that you have, like give you an idea. Now, if I were to say to you, each day through my window, I watch her as she passes by. And I say to myself, I'm such a lucky guy. To have a girl like her is truly a dream come true. Out of all the fellows in the world, she belongs to you. Everybody. But it was just my imagination once again. Now, none of us took the time to learn that song. None of us tried to remember the words of that song, but it was in there. And the reason it was in there is because our subconscious mind was exposed to that song over and over and over, so that all it needs to do is to be triggered. Well, our subconscious mind has been exposed to other stuff too, other stuff that's not as benign as a temptation song. And when you get triggered by those things, your subconscious mind then takes over. Pastor's subconscious mind was keyed into a need, and it drew to him that need. It drew to him that opportunity to buy that orphanage, because that's where his subconscious mind lived. Now, he didn't leave home that morning saying, I think I'm going to go buy an orphanage. I'm sure that's not what he did. But over the course of his life, things that have gone into his subconscious mind has conditioned him and attracted opportunity to him. And so when the time comes for him to get triggered, he was right there ready. Let me buy this orphanage. And once again, it's not always empowering things that get triggered in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind's got stuff in there that you don't want in there. It's got stuff in there that you don't even know is in there. So when you go through the habit of renewing your mind, you got to constantly use your conscious mind to input data into your subconscious mind and let that be your view. Let that be your mindset. And somebody better stop me, because I'm hey, I'm just practicing, because I have no trouble opening my mouth. When I was a boy, they called me Mouth Almighty. You know, we grew up as Christians, but they called me Mouth Almighty. They weren't trying to be flattering when they called me Mouth Almighty. But one of my things in life is I want to be a better listener. So I am very good at listening. However, I listen for a selfish reason. I only listen so I know how to sell them on my ideas. That's just how I roll. When the pastor was talking about fear being an obstacle to people taking those baby steps, you know, that rang true with me. I suffered with fear and panic and anxiety attacks for 15 years. Wow. 15 years. And at one point, I thought I was going to have to blow my brains off. But here, on the other side of that, the caveat is, now that I've gotten past that, I'm kind of really confident about my ability to handle anything. I seldom get frazzled. I seldom get my world rocked, because whatever's going to happen, I'm going to manage it. In many cases, when people share their particular situation in life with me, I have an obvious solution, because I truly believe that the solution to all of our problems is in our head and the way that we manage our mindset. Here's the difficulty I see. While fear might be the most insidious obstacle that human beings need to overcome, from the time we're children, we're actually managed by fear. Our parents put the fear of God in us. And then when we go to school, nobody tells us about fear. And of course, you think, if you are not having an experience with fear, why bring it up? Some people will describe that as being something negative. Look at it this way. If you were teaching someone to garden, if you were teaching someone to grow something, would you avoid talking about the presence of weeds? I don't know anyone who's ever planted weeds, but they are everywhere in everybody's garden. Everybody has to handle the weeds in their garden. Our minds are like a garden. Our minds are a place where the seeds are planted. And this fear that you're talking about, that is the most ubiquitous weed in our minds, and that's what we need to do. So despite renewing our minds and planting good seed, we have to actively root out the fear. We root out the fear by a constant dose of positivity, by a constant dose of what I call spaced repetition. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. You can do that anytime. And see, when you love yourself, certain things occur as a result of you loving yourself, and none of them are bad. Most often they're good. In fact, if you love yourself enough, truly love yourself enough, you will attract more love into your life, and you'll attract more people in your life that love you. And out of the blue, people will just gravitate toward you. They'll move toward you, all because you decided to root out the fear. You don't have to have an object of your fear. You don't have to have something that you think of that's something that you fear. If you have not gone in and renewed your mind and rooted out the negative, self-destructive thoughts in your mind, if you haven't gone in there and got them, they're in there, and their address is Subconscious Mind USA. And you got to get them out of there by the use of spaced repetition. So yeah, I was quiet. I was taking in what they were saying. And oddly enough, I have managed to attract people into my life that think a lot about things like I do. That's to come here all here, that's to come here all here. How many instances of a gathering of 4 people where they're not arguing or they're not picking apart each other's points of view? And you know why? It's because I've attracted all of us, and all of us has attracted me. So you see, I'm going to now demonstrate my most recent talent, and that's actually being quiet. Let somebody else say something.